It's just really great, just even from a sense of giving me hope to see that it's possible for them to be out here for a long time without barking.
Today, I'm working with two adorable Cavalier King Charles Spaniels named Livvie, the light brown one, and Ree, the black tricolor one, who both have a problem at barking at everything from animals on the TV to people and animals that pass by their backyard. In this session, I work with these two girls on desensitization, as well as training and reinforcing alternative behaviors to the barking, and make sure to watch the whole thing to see their amazing progress. First things first, I wanted to start indoors with the TV because that was definitely going to be the easiest with the least amount of external distractions. So I had Livvie and Ree's mom turn on the TV where the barking always happens, and we found a video on YouTube where there would be animals that would usually trigger the dogs.
So let's start with the volume muted, because we want to make it as easy as possible for them. Okay, perfect. And then let's see
they
when
do
the dog
respond. Oh, that's another thing. Like every single TV show has a background noise of like a little bit of dog barking to establish it's a neighborhood.
Yes.
And they always hear.
Yes. So that's why we're gonna start muted. We want to start as easy as possible.
But
and
she does trigger just on the motion of it, of anything that seems like not human motion.
Okay. So I'm just gonna have you pause it right here.
Okay.
When starting off, I actually wanted to start not with a full-on video, but rather a paused still from a video where there's an animal, in this case a cat. This is because I want to set the dogs up for success, and once they can calmly see an animal on the screen that's not moving or making sound, then we can slowly make the progress, which we do in just a few minutes. By moving in such easy and small steps, I'm setting up Livvie and Ree for success, aka more opportunities to positively reinforce the calm behavior, as well as slowly desensitizing them to the experience of seeing animals on the screen.
You guys see the kitty? Good girls. Good girls. You see the kitty? Yes. So basically what this training is like volumes off, super easy, like setting them up for success. And as soon as they see the cat and they don't bark, I'm gonna give them a treat. And we're basically just reinforcing them for not barking. You see the kitty? Wow, good girl. And I'm also making very sure that they are seeing her, because I don't want to give them treats for no reason. It's not a bad thing, but just, it won't do anything. But as soon as I see they're actually seeing the kitty, then they get the treat. Look, Ree, look. Yeah, good girls.
So my dilemma with treating is that I don't know whether to wait until both of them have done it, in which case sometimes one has been waiting for several seconds.
Right.
Or do I treat as soon as one has done it, and then I get the other one being distracted and angry that like, why did she get a treat and I didn't?
Right.
You know, like that's been the difficulty of trying to train two dogs.
Yes.
I'm not sure how to give that reinforcement without adding complication into it.
Exactly, and that's a really good point. So that's why ideally, like right now they're doing a great job where they're both kind of in sync. But if they, for example, like Ree was doing a really good job, but Livvie was kind of all over the place, I would basically do it one at a time, put one away in the bedroom or wherever.
What happens when you separate them from either each other or from me is they immediately start barking.
Right, like separation anxiety a little bit.
Yeah, a lot bit. Cavaliers are famous for separation anxiety.
Yes. So in that case, I would, for example, do you have like a Kong toy, or like something you could put frozen food in?
I do. I have a wobbler bowl.
Okay, so that would be like a great time to use that in the other room for one of the dogs while you're training the other one. And you would do it literally for 10 minutes, then switch.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. They love frozen yogurt in there.
Exactly.
And, berries.
So Ree and Livvie's mom asked a great question regarding training two dogs. In the case of Livvie and Ree, they're super easy to train together because they're very focused, and Livvie's barking is less of a problem than Ree's, so it's possible to train them together effectively. But when dealing with more severe issues or a lack of focus and participation, it's definitely better to go one at a time. Anyways, since they were doing so much better than expected with the picture, we decided to unpause and turn it on at a low volume.
But first, let's try to deal with the video.
It just made me, the buzzing sound I think is what she's actually responding to now that I think about it.
Okay,
I think
perfect.
It's that same kind of stressor.
Then that's perfect because we're getting that auditory trigger and they're not barking. So again, we're gonna reward them. Good girls. You guys see it? Yeah, good girls. Good job. You see the kitty? Yeah, good girl. And I could tell Ree is a little bit overexcited right now. She probably wants to bark. So that's why it's great that we're rewarding her before she has the chance. Good girls. So this video would have made them bark, you're saying?
Oh, it definitely did. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then we're making progress already. What a good girl. And basically just what you can do also is leave this video on. Like if you're cooking, working, whatever, just leave it on all the time. At first muted for the first few days, but as they get better like they are now, you can leave it at like volume 2, the next day volume 3, and just keep it running all the time, basically to desensitize them and continuously randomly reward them when they're being quiet. Like it's gonna take a lot of time, but that's basically how you like establish the new habit of not
So
barking.
you're saying I could watch Bridgerton all the time instead of never?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Since they were already doing great of not barking at a video that has historically been a bark-inducing video, I decided to up the stakes even more and pull up a video of some dogs running and playing something that's very triggering, especially for Ree.
Oh, those are your friends! Yes! Oh, no, so when they bark, we're just gonna wait for her to be quiet. I'm just gonna, she gets one.
Notice how she takes the lead.
Yes, so she, oops, sorry. Yes, so we got that pocket and she looks at me. So she's re-engaging with me instead, so she gets the reward. But this is good because they're very, this is like way more hard, I think, for especially Ree, right?
Yeah.
Look, Ree, look. Yes, good girl. So the moment she looks at them, before she has a chance to bark, I'm gonna reinforce.
Okay.
Look, yes, good girl. What a good girl.
You can see
That
she's
was
very
pretty-
trainable. Like she gets immediately.
No, yeah, they're
the
very
point.
smart. Look, yes. Oh, see there, I think Ree was literally about to go bark, but she saw the treat come out, so we were able to intercept it. Yes, good girl, good girl. Look at all those dogs. Isn't that crazy? Oops, sorry, Ree. Here, it's in your tail. Yes, very good. You guys are so cute. Look, they're chasing butterflies. Oh, yes. Good. And even like right now when I said uh-oh, I kind of like used a sound to like intercept her barking, and that's when you also want to reward her right when she looks at me.
So should I not, like, I do have them trained fairly well on the word chill. They're not 100% responsive, but it's, you know, it's quiet down, you're you know, being
Yeah.
inappropriate. And so I use that a lot, but I'm not sure, I noticed you're not trying to hush their barking, you're just waiting for it to end.
Yes. So in a case like this where it's like a very controlled environment, I'm just gonna wait, but we can also,
Like, am I giving attention essentially to the barking? By
Exactly.
saying chill?
If you
That's been my question.
Yes, you are. So that's why we don't want to like yell, or even if you're saying a normal voice, like if they're barking and you're like chill, but they keep barking and you're not reinforcing when they be quiet, then you're engaging. But what we can do also is to teach chill more like in a structured way, like right now. So right now, if she starts barking, we can say chill, wait for 1 whole second where she's quiet, and then reward her.
Ree and Livvie were getting so much better at not barking at the TV that after we did a few more reps, I decided it was time to tackle the bigger problem, which is barking at everyone that passes by the yard. However, it's important to note that this TV barking is not considered solved yet, even though they were doing great at this stage. Something like this takes several weeks of practice before the new habit is ingrained in their behavior and they stop barking entirely at animals on screen.
Right now, basically what we can do until a trigger passes is just do basic obedience. Sit.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put that down. Here. Sit. Good girls. And we're just working right now on basically paying attention outside. So it's not necessarily directly addressing the barking at dogs, but until we get a trigger, this is perfect. Good girls. Yeah. Wow, what good girls you are. What good girls you are. And the only reason why I'm having them on a leash, by the way, we're not going to use it to like punish them or anything. I just want it to manage the situation, because if they were off leash, they can run up all the way to the hedge.
I saw that on that Zach George video you
Yes,
sent me, that
yeah.
he was using it to basically just sort of like usher the dog
Exactly.
back.
Like we're not going to forcefully move them or anything, but for example, I don't want them to run all the way up to the hedge, because that's going to be way harder for them to disengage with the dog. But if they're close to me, it's an easier option to listen to me rather than run up to the hedge. So that's the only reason why we need a leash. We can also let them sniff around right now until the trigger comes.
So as you can see, while we're waiting for someone to pass by, I'm just doing some basic things like sit to get the dogs practicing listening while outside around distractions like the neighborhood smells and sounds. This doesn't directly fix the barking per se, but the more a dog is able to listen in outdoor environments, the better for pretty much all aspects of training.
So I know they come out 4 times a day. Do they come out like unsupervised, or do you also sit out here with them and whatever?
I have to supervise them, because as soon as they make any sound, I've got them coming
That's
in
perfect.
immediately.
I was gonna say, like, the one thing I would ask you to stop, but you don't do this anyway, is to letting them out unsupervised, because that just lets them reinforce themselves, bark, 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 do it themselves. But as long as you're here, you can do basically what we're doing now, like try to interrupt them right before they bark with treats and like reinforce the calm. Or if they do bark, you could make them go inside. But I don't think that'll be super necessary once the reinforcement kicks in, but you could do that as like an extra measure, you know, as like a punishment for barking. But I really think that with just the reinforcement, you would see a lot of progress as well without, without having to do that part of like bringing them inside.
I'm just fascinated by how much attention they're paying to you. I think because of the treats, they're just like really.
Ree and Livvy's mom brings up a really good point where she's surprised how much focus I'm getting from these dogs when usually they aren't like this. I think this is super key to understanding the foundation of positive reinforcement training when training something like barking. Because I'm providing lots of not only yummy, high quality treats, but also praise, Ree and Livvy's decision to engage and listen to me is more valuable than running up to the bush to bark at the noises and sounds and sights that usually trigger them. And to exemplify that even further, you'll see now when Ree and Livvie see some dogs that they usually love to bark at, they make the wiser decision that they know will get reinforced generously, which is to do as I ask, essentially.
These dogs, but they will bark at them.
Okay, perfect. So
we're doing dog training.
Good girl. I'm gonna wait for them to see. Good girl. Good girl. So you see how she looked at them and didn't bark, so we're gonna reward. Hi. Good job. Did you even see the dogs now? I know Ree saw them. I don't even think Liv saw them, but that's okay.
They're aware. They're aware.
Okay, good. So this is why I think like their barking is probably not going to last too long because it doesn't seem that extreme. Like I've worked with dogs that like cannot listen. They can't even take a treat when a dog passes by. But it seems like because these treats have a higher value to them than engaging with the dog, it's working great. Hi, sit.
I think it's also that they want to engage with you.
Right.
Like you're more exciting to them than a dog.
Exactly. And that's a really good observation. So that's why when you're working with them, like training them, and by the way, you don't have to do this like 5 hours a day. Literally 5 minutes a day is totally fine.
Okay.
And even like if you're sitting inside and you see a dog coming around the corner, you can quickly come outside with a bunch of treats and do this. But the most important thing is to use like one, to use treats that they love, like these seem to be working really great, and two, like you said, like be super engaging. So when they do a good job, like be very generous with the praise, give them lots of treats, lots of cuddles, and yeah, just like being fun and making it fun so it's not so serious for them. Because I don't think they don't care if it's super serious, but if we make it fun, then I think they'll be, super good about it. Because right now they haven't barked at all.
Right now the dog across the street is barking.
Yes. So right now,
they usually would respond to that.
Yes.
They'd be running over there to bark back.
Perfect. So this is a great example. So like the same way a dog is like a visual trigger, we can call it, the barking just now was like an auditory trigger. It works the same exact way. When they hear it and don't bark, we give them a treat. And sometimes it also looks like, for example, right now there's no triggers, right? But I'm still gonna reward their calm because I want them to kind of basically contextualize. Being outside and being calm is good. And for the first training session like we're doing now, they probably won't realize why they're getting a treat. They're just thinking like, oh, I'm getting a treat for just being here. But as you keep doing it, they're gonna like realize what they're doing that's getting them the treat. Like 1 is being quiet, 2 is being very focused on me. That's obviously a great behavior as well. 3 is sitting. 4, he just engaged with the man that walks by but didn't bark. So that's another behavior they're getting reinforced for. And just basically the more times you reinforce good behavior, whether you ask for it or not, the more they'll do it. And then the bad behavior will fade out because you're going to stop engaging with it because you're not going to be like, quiet, and they keep doing it. That's going to fade out and it's going to be replaced by all this really good behavior that they're already showing.
That's fantastic.
Right now. You guys are so sweet.
Already, I can't believe they're not responding to that dog because they like him.
Yeah.
When they're off together on leash, like, they'll party. But as soon as they hear him bark, they usually run over and bark back like, hey dude, how you doing?
Like check out what's going on, engaging. Exactly, so that's why we want to like really make us, like you, me, whoever's training, to be more engaging and more rewarding to them than the acts of going over them barking. That's why we use treats, that's why we're like super exciting, engaging, fun, and like very positive. Like we want to keep it very, very fun and not so focused on waiting for them to bark,
Livvy's
but rather
jealous right now that you gave too much attention to Ree.
Oh, you guys are both very sweet cuties.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a dog though. Here, they get that treat.
That's another one of their dog friends. We've taken walks with them.
Okay, perfect. See, they didn't bark because they were more engaged in the treats. That's perfect.
Yeah, they were very distracted.
Very good.
It's just really great, just even from a sense of giving me hope to see that it's possible for them to be out here for a long time without barking, because I want them to be able to have longer stretches of time out here.
For sure, yeah. It's, the great thing also is like, obviously, like ideally you never would have them out here for like a long time by themselves. But for example, if in the morning for like a quick potty break, you just open the door and you want to stay inside and stand there, not necessarily come out here with
Winter.
them.
Yes.
In winter, exactly. Then like as you do more of this training, they won't need you to be so close to them, like giving them treats every 2 seconds. Like I would venture to say probably if you continue with a very heavy reinforcement, like with treats and stuff like that, and a lot of practice, that in like 2 months from now, they'd be able to come out here, pee, and when you call them back inside, they would come back even if a dog was passing by. Like I think they would be more focused on you. And also like another thing you could do, not specifically for like outdoor barking, but like overall relationship building, and so that they make sure they listen to you even when the dog is coming by, is like when you're inside, you can carry around like a pouch of treats like this, or just like whatever, a handful of treats all the time. And whenever they're doing something you like, whether you asked for it or not, so if they're like sitting calmly on the couch, if they're, I don't know, doing something that you like, whatever it is, you can just reward them for that, even if you didn't ask for it. And that way you're, one, like reinforcing that behavior that you want to happen more often, but two, they're gonna see you as like, well, they're gonna be very much more bonded to you. I can already tell you guys have a great bond, but like even more so. And also kind of look to you for, one, guidance on like what they should be doing, and two, for positive reinforcement, so that again, like in a few months from now when they're really, really getting it, it won't even be hard for them to come out here and not bark and come back inside to hang out again. And like even go on walks and not bark.
And that's how I taught Livvie and Ree to not bark at everything that triggers them. Like I keep saying, just because they crushed it this session, and they did, doesn't mean they won't need many more repetitions and practice sessions to really make sustainable progress. But I can say confidently that their barking will definitely get better with time, because the progress they showed already in just our 1-hour training was truly incredible. Comment down below if you also have a dog that barks at everything and what you do to manage or train, and don't forget to subscribe for more real life dog training.